Hello, friends. The canoe glides softly along the Ebro River, past groves of olives and the rustling shadows of Iberian pine. But the peace here is deceptive, because in ancient times, this river marked the line between Rome's nervous gaze and Carthage's burning ambition. And in the hills above, a boy was being shaped into something Rome would never forget: Hannibal Barca. Before he was the bane of the Roman Republic, the general who made senators tremble at the sound of hooves, Hannibal was just a boy with big shoes to fill, and an even bigger chip on his shoulder. His father, Hamilcar Barca, was a hero of the First Punic War, except he didn't win. After Rome took Sicily, Carthage's pride was bruised, and Hamilcar was sent off to Spain, not to retire, but to rebuild Carthage's power quietly, far from Roman eyes. And he took young Hannibal with him. Now, here's where things get interesting. One day, as the story goes, Hamilcar led his son to a sacrificial altar. The boy, probably expecting a goat roast, found himself swearing a blood oath instead. "I swear, as long as I live, I will never be a friend to Rome." Talk about intense parenting. From that moment, Hannibal wasn't just a boy learning swordplay, he was a living, breathing promise of vengeance. He watched his father forge alliances with Spanish tribes, build cities, train armies, and quietly prepare for something much, much bigger. But Rome wasn't snoozing either. Back home, the Senate kept a wary eye on Iberia. Rome had won Sicily, yes, but Carthage was rebuilding, faster and farther than expected. When Hamilcar died, possibly by drowning or ambush, history's still debating, his son-in-law Hasdrubal took over. He signed the Ebro Treaty with Rome, agreeing not to cross the river northward. Peace restored, sort of. And then Hasdrubal was assassinated. Enter Hannibal, now 26 years old and full of zeal, wit, and warlike charm. He was elected commander by the army and approved by Carthage's ruling council, though let's be honest, no one dared say no to the Barcas. He didn't waste time. Hannibal began expanding south of the Ebro, crushing tribes, winning loyalties, and training a multinational army that looked less like a marching band and more like a storm cloud. But his next move would define him: the Siege of Saguntum. Saguntum was a city south of the Ebro, technically not Roman territory, but it was a Roman ally. Hannibal's siege was slow, brutal, and unmistakably provocative. Rome warned him to back off. He didn't. When Saguntum fell in 219 BCE, Rome sent ambassadors to Carthage with a demand: hand over Hannibal. Carthage replied, essentially, no backsies. And just like that, the Second Punic War began. Now here's the twist. Most thought Hannibal would play defense. After all, Rome had the ships, the manpower, the swagger. But Hannibal wasn't most people. Instead of waiting, he chose the most outrageous, daring, borderline ridiculous military maneuver of the ancient world. He would march to Italy, with elephants, across the Alps, in winter. A madman? A genius? A mix of both? Find out next time, when hooves thunder over snow and Rome's worst nightmare comes stomping down the mountains. Coming up in our next episode, Thunder from the Alps, Hannibal invades Italy. Grab your cloak and your courage. It's going to be a cold, wild ride.